What's up guys, EnchantedMusicVIds here, and today I'm bringing you a Cakewalk / Bandlab tutorial. Now, before I get started, a few things I want to inform you guys is that one, Cakewalk is a free to use DAW created by Bandlab, and it's a great alternative to other premium DAWs like Pro Tools and Logic X. Now, how might one install Cakewalk, you may ask? Well, first, in your search engine, you're going to want to type Cakewalk and click enter. And to the second link right here, where it says Cakewalk by Bandlab, or second site I should say, you're going to want to click on that, and that will take you right to the Bandlab site. Now, Bandlab offers two services, with one of them being Cakewalk and the other being Bandlab for Education. Now, Bandlab for Education, you can easily reach that site by clicking here, the Education button. Now, as you wait for it, Bandlab for Education is a great way for teachers to teach students who are majoring in music, as this provides unlimited, I believe it's unlimited students, unlimited classes, unlimited projects, as virtual instruments, premium effects, you can be from any school and still be able to access Bandlab. And they're private classrooms, so you won't get any outsiders other than, your own students going, taking these classes, or being in the classrooms, that is. And and they have a grading system, and assignments are easy to be created, and basically, yeah. And there's on the music studio. And so if you wanted to enter a classroom on Bandlab for Education, you'd click here, Start a Student, and you'd enter the code from your professor / teacher, so it prevents anybody who's not a student from joining. Now, moving back onto the subject of Cakewalk, now to download Cakewalk, you're gonna want to click download here at the bottom of the page. Let me just get to it. You're gonna want to click download. And I'm gonna point this out now, just while the Bandlab Assistant is installing. Cakewalk is available for both macOS and Windows laptops, but for macOS you guys are going to have the Windows operating system, which should be fine. And the requirements for Windows laptops, that is you must have a Windows 7 64-bit or higher machine with at least 4 GB of RAM, a multi-core Intel or AMD CPU, 3 GB of storage, and ASIO compatible hardware, or that's recommended. And for Mac OS users, you guys are going to have at least Mountain Lion 10.7 or higher. So that's great. So when the Bandlab Assistant is finished installing, it's gonna take you to a page that looks, hang on, if I can get back to it here. And let me just cancel this real quick. it's going to take you to a page like this once you open the app, the desktop app. And you're going to want to, and it'll give you a few options to sign up, which is either connect to Facebook or connect to Google. So, which should only take about a hot minute or two. And so basically, once you've signed up with to Bandlab, you click on it, and then you would get to this screen right here that says Library, Apps, and Sounds within the Bandlab Assistant. You're going to want to click on Apps and click on Install for Cakewalk. And before it installs Cakewalk, it's going to give you an option to install 3 add-ons for Cakewalk, which is, I believe, the Studio, the Theme Editor, and I think Cakewalk itself. Maybe. I forgot the last add-on. It's not that important. It's just basic stuff to enhance your Cakewalk experience. So as long as you get the first two, which is the theme editor and the studio for Cakewalk, you should be completely fine. You don't, but it's still better to get all 3 than to get none. So once you're finished installing Cakewalk and its add-ons, you can then launch it by pressing the open button here instead of install it. Let's say open. But before you can do that, I want to tell you the pros and cons about Cakewalk before you guys launch it for the first time and then start to make your own beats and stuff. So some of the pros of Cakewalk is that it's completely free to use, completely free to join. It's great for making audio tracks. It's a great alternative for premium DAWs like Pro Tools and Logic X. And it's also great for artists who are on a budget. Now, some of the cons for Cakewalk, for using Cakewalk, is that it might be difficult for beginners to learn at first, which is why I'll give you a little bit of a tutorial on Cakewalk in just a minute. And for Windows users, you guys are going to need the Windows 7 64-bit or Windows 7 64-bit or higher. You guys are going to need at least 3 GB of space. You're going to need at least 4 GB of RAM and multi-core. But those are very minor stuff but there's the pros of Cakewalk outweigh the cons by a long shot, so don't worry too much. But if you're looking for a premium DAW, I highly recommend Cakewalk. So now, once you open Cakewalk for the first time, it's going to give you a start screen, which will have 6 different types of project templates, I should say, and you can view those when you click on New Project on the left-hand corner. And those 6 project templates are Basic, 4-track, 16-track, Empty Project, Guitar Amp, and Vocals. Now, for the simplicity of this video, I'm gonna do the basic. And so on your top left-hand screen, you're going to see that there is a Smart tool, a Select tool, a Edit tool, a Draw tool, and an Erase tool, and a Move tool. Forgot about that one. So the Smart tool basically has the power of all the other tools except the Erase tool. And the Select tool, basically you can highlight over however many notes or note or notes that you want to select. And with the Move tool, with all those highlighted selected notes, you can either move them up, down, left to right, And with the edit tool, you can basically either extend a note in length or shorten it. With the draw tool, you can insert the notes into the piano roll viewer, and I'll explain what that is in a second. And with the erase tool, you can erase any one of the notes you have drawn. Okay, so you might ask, so when I load up the basic project template, what does it come with, or is there anything that I should know about? Well, it comes with an audio track and a MIDI track ready to go, but there is going to be, and you can go however you want from it, as you can, under the MIDI box, in an empty gray space, you right click and you can see that you can insert a audio track, a multi-track, a instrument track, and so forth. And you can insert as many tracks as you want. It's up to you. But if you want to insert an instrument to one of the tracks, you right click on the empty gray space underneath the MIDI, and you click insert instrument, and there should be two tabs when you click the insert instrument. There should be audio and instrument. A little box should pop up and there should be two tabs there, which is audio and instrument. And when you click on instrument, there should be a little drop box that says instrument. And when you click on that arrow, it will show you that there is a bass, a virtual bass instrument, a virtual drums, virtual string section, virtual electric piano, and a virtual Cakewalk instrument. Now you can, get your own virtual instruments online and, bring it into Cakewalk if you so desire to. But for this video, I'm just gonna cover up some of the basic stuff in Cakewalk. So when you decide on what instrument you want to insert, you would click on it. But for this, I'm gonna just choose the default Cakewalk instrument that they have, the Cakewalk TTS. And so when you insert that, it will appear under the MIDI track. And let's say you wanted to insert a note into into the instrument track. Well, on the gray line that's next to the instrument track, you'd right click and click view, and then you'd click open piano viewer, and it would give you a grid type screen with all the piano chords on the left hand side and the grid space on the right hand. Now, but for this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So the first two chords in the song are two C5 chords, and how you would insert those chords would be you'd use the draw tool on the top left hand corner. You'd click on it, and then you draw in the grid on the C5 note. You just left click on it, a little grid space where it says C5, and you'd insert two of those. Now I will say this, you can insert the notes, you can move the notes as close as you want to the two chords as close as you want to each other when you draw them on there, or the notes closer to each other, or you can make them farther. It's up to you. I'll leave that to you guys. And so the next chord of the song is two G5 chords, and you'd do the same thing that you did for the C5 chords and just draw them in by just left clicking with the draw tool on the G5 chord in the empty grid space, that is. And you can preview each piano key chord by hovering your mouse near the keys itself, which I'll demonstrate in a minute, or which I'll demonstrate later. And after the two G5 chords, which come after the initial first C5s, it's two A5 chords, and you just do the same thing for the A5 chords like you did for the G5. And after the two A5 chords, there's one G5 chord afterwards. And now, after that one G5 chord, there is two F5 chords. And after that, there's two E5 chords. And after that, there's two D5 chords. And after that's like one C5 chord. And after that C5 chord is two G5 chords, two F5 chords, two E5 chords, and one D5 chord. Now, if any point you get lost in this video for what the chords might be of the song, or you weren't paying attention, you can rewind the video, pause it, listen, and then do it as you see fit, or you can write it down. It's completely up to you. Now, the next part of the song is basically the same as the last line, which is G5, two G5s, two F5s, two E5s, and one D5 chord. And then the line after that is two C5 chords, two G5 chords, two A5 chords, and one G5. And the last line is two F5 chords, two E5 chords, two D5 chords, and one C5. And if you've inserted all those chords correctly, you can hit play at the top right corner, as there is a rewind key, a rewind button, a play button, a stop button, a pause, and fast forward. You can click on the play button and hear if you did the song correctly or not. But let's say you wanted to change the speed of the song from the default 120 it's set at to 180. Well, that's simple. Just click on the 120 on the top right hand side of the screen and insert your own number value in, whether it be 100, 90, 180, 60, 30. Now, you can also, and when all that's said and done, you can also click the X near the piano roll viewer, and that will take you out of the piano roll viewer, and then you can hear the song more clearly from that. And if you wanted to change the note value, let's say you didn't like the whole notes, you can change it to a quarter note, an eighth note, a 16th note, a 32th note. You can make it even a triplet or dotted note. The choice is yours. And let's say you wanted to save it because you wanted to work on it later on. Well, that's easy. You just click on to the left hand side says file. You just click on save project as, and then you choose whether you want MIDI format 1, MIDI format 0, so forth. And that pretty much wraps up this tutorial on Cakewalk / Bandlab. But before I end this video, my closing thoughts are this. Bandlab is a free-to-use education service, or Bandlab for Education is a free-to-use service for teachers and students. And some of Bandlab's services, such as Cakewalk, can be used for making audio tracks and recordings. I personally recommend Bandlab for people who want a free-to-use premium service. Thank you, and goodbye! Okay guys, EnchantedMusicVIds here. Now,
Now, I do apologize if I was not able to get this entire video in one go. I encountered some issues with my recorder, and Cakewalk tends to cut off the audio when I get to a certain point. So whatever I was going to demonstrate about Cakewalk, the demonstration part, not necessarily the installation, is what I'm going to be doing here. So just to clear any confusion with anybody, and if you don't hear any, and I mean, Cakewalk pretty much just cancels the audio out for my mic, so you might not hear anything that's happening about what I'm saying or y'all that's playing in Cakewalk. But if you were listening into the first half of this video about what I was going to do for the demonstration, that's basically what I'm going to cover in this part of the video. So don't worry if you're not hearing any audio or you're not hearing me speak. So now let's get into the video. So when you load up Cakewalk for the first time, it's going to give you a start screen, and with that start screen, it's going to direct you to this new, it's going to say new project here on the top left hand side. So basically when you launch it up, it will launch a start screen, and that start screen will come with 6 different project templates, which is basic, 4-track, 16-track, empty project, guitar amps, and vocals. So when and each of these tracks are quite different from each other, but for the simplicity of this video, I'm just going to do the basic track.